بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإن يروا كل سبيل الرشد لا يتخذوه سبيلا وإن يروا سبيل الغي يتخذوه سبيلا ذلك بأنهم كذبوا بآياتنا وكانوا عنها غافلين. My respected listeners, last week I explained a few ayat of the Quran, and I explained there are groups of people in this dunya who are going to be adamant and very firm on their misguidance, and there are others who will always look for guidance and hidayah. The misguidance of those people who always look towards misguidance is not that they know that it's misguidance. They know or they think that this is the guidance, whereas actually that will be misguidance and the wrong path and a life of problem or a life leading towards Jahannam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created a certain group of people who will always be in the lookout for hidayah. A lot of the time it happens with the family members. So you find a lot of the family members of the prophets, they will take the path of misguidance, and they will be the ones who actually harm and go against their own family member who he is a prophet, but they will be the ones who will go against them the most. So you find Abu Lahab and the further relative Abu Jahl of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But those people who take the guidance of that Prophet, the family members, they happen to be, when they take this guidance, they get very far in the guidance. So you find the other side, there will be prophets or mashayikh or ulama in that family, but you'll find that family member, those family members who will be the furthest away from this prophet or the inheritors of the prophets, they'll be the ones who are staunch enemies, they dislike him. So you find Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, his wife and his son. In the other side you find Hazrat Lut alayhi salatu wasalam, his wife. But you find his daughters very obedient. Sayyidina Lut alayhi salatu wasalam. You find other sons of Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam obedient. Whereas over here, with our Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you find Abu Lahab, he is the biggest enemy of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would say, go this way, this is the hidayah. Abu Lahab will say, no, this is the opposite of hidayah. Which is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even revealed the verse of the Quran or even a whole surah regarding Abu Lahab. So my respected listeners, in our history, this has always happened. You'll find some of the family members who don't take advantage of the Prophet in their family or the mashayikh or ulama in their family. And the people who take advantage of this, you'll find them, he is the lion of Allah. These are the people who have taken they'll be the leaders of the youngsters in Jannah. She will be the leaders of the women in Jannah. You understand what I'm talking about? Sayyidah Fatima radiallahu ta'ala, Hassan Hussein radiallahu anhu, Sayyidina Hamza radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Those people who took the hidayah from their family, from the Prophet or the Mashayikh, they've gone to a different stage of hidayah. Whereas those people who haven't taken this hidayah, Abu Lahab, uncle, but because he did not adopt and take the hidayah path of hidayah, he's gone to a different stage of misguidance, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the whole surah telling that he's going to go to Jahannam. Abu Jahl, a distant relative of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the biggest enemy, one of the biggest enemy of Fir'aun of this ummah. My respected listeners, so we find people, even though you have guidance in your own house, in your own family members, or your locality, some people will be adamant that they are not going to take this guidance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن يَرَوْا كُلَّ سَبِيلَ رُشْدٍ لَا يَتَّخِذُوهُ سَبِيلًا وَإِن يَرَوْا سَبِيلَ رُشْدٍ لَا يَتَّخِذُوهُ سَبِيلًا. When they see the path of hidayah, they don't take this path. وَإِن يَرَوْا سَبِيلَ الْغَيِّ يَتَّخِذُوهُ سَبِيلًا. But when they see the path of misguidance or gumrahiyah, يَتَّخِذُوهُ سَبِيلًا, they will take that path. So you have always two groups of people. And in the akhirah, my respected brothers, there'll only be two groups of people. وَامْتَازُ الْيَوْمَ أَيُّهَا الْمُجْرِمُونَ. We read in Surah Yasin, Mujrimun on this one side, the rest of the other group of people who are non-Mujrimun, they'll be on the other side. So differentiation, there'll only be two groups of people. One Jannatis and one Jahannamis. There is no another group in the akhirah. Over here you can say, okay, I'm going to take the path of these mashayikh, or I'm not going to take any of these, but I'm just going to stick to myself. Hidayah. Or the other people will be misguided. It's three. But in the akhirah, there's only two destinations, Jannah or Jahannam. Now, in this dunya we will find there are certain groups of people who will always find misguidance, and they will try to prove that this misguidance that they are on is actually guidance, is actually hidayah. So you find in the history, in our whole history, in the Quran, Sunnah, Hadith, full of it. Even in our own lives we'll see that Manusha, why doesn't he understand? He just doesn't understand. You find some people like that they just, no, they're going to be adamant that they're not going to change. Why should I change? What's there for me to change? I don't see that I am in a problem. I don't see I am misguided. I'm not doing anything wrong. So you find people who will justify the wrong to be right, and they will stick to their justification, proving that whatever they are doing wrong is actually not wrong, it's actually right. So you find people, alcoholics, just can't get out of this system. He says, Allah maaf farbane, and they're just justifying it. You see, justification. No, there's no lamenting, there's no remorse that, Ya Allah, I really need to get out. Ya Allah, I'm making dua to Allah. Ya Allah, please take me out of this system. Ya Allah, I'm in the mortgage. I am loan. I've got a lot of loan. I've got a lot of haram in my life. My eyes are always free to see whoever. My phone is free to see, and everything, all the haram I can do on my phone, all the haram I can do on my TV in the house, with the children, with the family members now. There's no remorse. You ask them, you tell them, come on, just come to the masjid, come to these mashayikh, come to these jalsas. You see, these words come, what am I doing wrong? Justification of wrong, what am I doing wrong? When a time comes in our lives where we see a person trying to justify the wrongs that they are doing, and they're not accepting the wrongs that they are doing, my respected listeners, that is a time when we should realize that this person is not going to get hidayah. It's going to be very difficult for this person to come to the hidayah, path of hidayah, because he doesn't realize what wrongs he is doing. This is why the people who innovate, the bid'ah, innovation and bid'ah in the religion, they justify their wrong. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they don't get, he's saying, they don't get the tawfiq to do tawbah. They are some of the worst people under the sky, the people who innovate things in religion. So why? Because they justify the wrongs that they are doing, and justifying the wrong that they are doing, they think they're on the right path. So if they're on the right path, why should they do tawbah? So they don't get the tawfiq and opportunity to do tawbah because they're not doing anything wrong. So you find people in this category all the time. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in many places, Shaitan is our enemy, Shaitan is our enemy, Shaitan take him as your enemy, he's going to make you do this. Shaitan is going to make us do wrong. But how do we know that this is from Shaitan or not? How do we know that this is from our nafs or not? How do we know this is the hidayah and guidance Allah has given, and it's not actually misguidance from Shaitan, but it's actually making and tricking me? So how Shaitan tricks, he plays a very shrewd, very deceptive, very quiet, very discreet way of his misguidance. Like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, when a woman goes out, Shaitan puts his jal, you know the jal, you know the nets for fishing. Shaitan puts his netting to catch misguidance, the people he wants to misguide through the women. Through the women? So how did Shaitan get us away from Jannah? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya bani Adam la yaftinannakum ash-shaytanu kama akhraja abawaykum min al-jannah. O bani Adam, O children of Adam, don't let Shaitan put you into, my respected brothers, listen to these few ayats I'm talking about. Listen to these ayat, try to understand where Allah is coming from, what Allah is saying, and try to implement this in our life and see how we have completely misunderstood this. So here Allah is saying, La yaftinannakum ash-shaytanu, make sure Shaitan does not put you into fitna. What type of fitna is Shaitan putting this person into? Kama akhraja abawaykum min al-jannah, the way he had taken your father and your mother, Adam and Hawa alayhi salam, the way he took your parents out of Jannah. How did he take them out of Jannah? يَنْزِعُ عَنْهُمَا لِبَاسَهُمَا لِيُرِيَهُمَا سَوْآتِهِمَا, by taking their clothes off. So Shaitan is going to put you into fitna. The way he took your parents out from Jannah, he's going to do exactly the same thing, take you out of Jannah, or put obstacles in front of you to take you away from the guidance and hidayah, the path of hidayah. Through what? Through your clothes. يَنْزِعُ عَنْهُمَا لِبَاسَهُمَا لِيُرِيَهُمَا سَوَاتِهِمَا. Okay, this is an ayat. Remember this ayat number 1. Ayat number 2. يَا بَنِي آدَمَ خُذُوا زِينَتَكُمْ عِنْدَ كُلِّ مَسْجِدٍ. O Bani Adam, children of Adam. Allah is not referring to only Muslims though. All the children of Adam, whether Muslim, non-Muslim, everyone. Ya bani Adam khudhu zinatakum inda kulli masjid. Take wear your best clothes, zina, beautiful clothes, when you go to the masjids. So wear your best clothes when you are going to perform salah. Go to the masjid, performing salah, whatever. Take your best clothes. Why do we have to wear our best clothes? So you find some people, just go anyhow into the masjid. Just happen to be masjid and I'm just passing by, I'm just going to, there's no, 20, 30 years ago, 25 years ago, we had a lot of worry and concern that, masjid, how can I go to the masjid in this dress? How can I go to the masjid without a hat? How can I go to the masjid with a sleeves, non-sleeves? How can I feel ashamed. Nowadays the shame is gone. So Shaitan works with shame. Our clothes are our things that keep our shame and modesty within us. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, Al-haya'u shu'batun min al-iman. Haya and modesty is a portion of your iman. So what is Shaitan going to try to attack? My respected brothers, please try to understand what I'm trying to say. What is Shaitan going to try to attack? Our iman. Because iman is very, 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 very precious. So Shaitan took an oath in front of Allah, I'm going to take them all to the fire of hell with me. So now, how is he going to take us to the fire of hell, or try to take people to the fire of hell? Through imani matters. Those matters that will decline, or those matters that will harm a person's iman. So here Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, Ya bani al-haya'u shu'batun min al-iman. Haya and modesty is a portion of your iman. In a different place, 60th portion, 40th portion, 70th portion of iman. So that means modesty is a portion of our iman. So Shaitan will work on modesty. So Shaitan will work on those places, clothes, matters that where we are very modest. So he's going to take the modesty out, make people immodest, behaya, besharam. So he's going to make people behaya, besharam, because he knows this is a portion of iman. So now, when we find people who are very fit, six packs or coming to six packs, very fit, so they go into the gyms and they toning their body. So when you find this type of people, when we find this type of people, what type of clothes will they wear? Seriously, tight, so your chest is showing and the packs are showing and the biceps are very nicely shown. So these are shown. So what type of clothes will they wear? They will make sure that half the bicep is showing. So here you have the non-hidayah. Here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam Sahaba, Hazrat Dihya Kalbi radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, Hazrat Jarir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu, they were the most handsome of the Sahaba. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to say, Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam used to come in the form of Dihya Kalbi radiyallahu anhu, extremely handsome. You know what they used to wear? You see, this is the difference. When we don't understand the guidance, when we see shaitaniyat in one side, we see our carnal desires showing that I want to show. So now, intentionally, the people will go towards women to show or flirt with women because they've got a nice body, toned body and fit body. Now what happened? Sayyidina Jarir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu, these two Sahaba, when they used to go out, they used to put a niqab on. Meaning, with their amama, they used to cover themselves. With their amama, they used to cover themselves, head to just the eyes. Why would they do that for? They were asked. Why would you do that? Because here is someone so extremely handsome that he was called the Yusuf of this ummah. He should just go like toned body and just go out. Every woman will want to see him. Even the men want to see him. There are incidents, not for obviously carnal desire reasons, but beauty, because of the beauty. So they used to cover themselves and they used to say, I don't want to put women into fitna. Ya Allah, look at the tarbiyat. Look at the tarbiyat. I don't want to put women into fitna that they will see me and they will be put into fitna by my beauty. So I'll just cover myself. My beauty is for my wife and when the tarbiyat is not there, when Allah and His Rasul is not there, the other side, opposite happens. So you're going to be toned, you're going to be wearing least clothes and even tight clothes as well, and going in front of women. This is you see the guidance and misguidance? This is the hidayah and misguidance. This is where tarbiyat takes place. So Shaitan will work on immodesty. So how will Shaitan work on immodesty? Here we know modesty is portion of our iman. Shaitan will work on modesty and make people immodest by taking off their clothes. How? Allah, remember the first ayat He said, Oh Bani Adam, don't let Shaitan take you out of Jannah just as he took your forefathers, your parents out of Jannah by taking off their clothes. So you find nowadays very tight-fitted clothes. Men are doing it, women are doing it. Now, they want to show their body unless they are, even nowadays there are women who are very chubby as well. They're showing they are putting their tight-fitting clothes as well. So tight-fitting, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, these women are cursed. Allah curses these people, the women. The angels curse them. Allah and His angels curse that type of people who go out tight-fitted clothes. So Allah's curse, the angels' curse is on that person. So now, when we find our family relatives who are obsessed with tight-fitting, why are they wearing tight-fitting clothes? Whereas they've got Allah and His angels curse upon them. Now they will say, I am wearing clothes under my jubbah. Fine, no one's watching you, but you're still wearing those clothes that Allah and His Rasul has cursed. Allah and His angels have cursed. You see, you're still wearing that. No one's going to say it's haram because you're wearing it under your jubbah, no one else is seeing you besides your husband. It's not haram, but you're still wearing those clothes that Allah and His angels have cursed. That's going to have an effect on you. Remember, my respected brothers, everyone, 10-15 years ago, go back 10-15 years ago, did your mothers, your khalas, your poopies and all of them, did they used to walk in the house without a hijab generally? No. What's happened now? No one's going to say it's haram. No one's saying it's haram. In front of the husband, in front of the children, brothers and sisters, you can't. But the modesty is taken away slowly, slowly, slowly. The hadiths are indicating that the angels don't enter that house where there's women walking around without any hijab on. So they used to naturally, because of modesty, they used to wear it. What's happening now? Now look what's happened. The clothes in our Muslim, I'm not talking about non-Muslim societies. You know how the non-Muslim children are going to school. The women, girls. You know, we're talking about our Muslim children. So Shaitan is going to work on that immodesty. Slowly, slowly. So now, because they are seeing them, they will wear those tight-fitting clothes, which Allah and His angels have cursed, number one. Now, slowly, slowly, the tight-fitting they will come up to the 3/4 pants for the women. First of all, the tight-fitting came. Secondly, the trousers or the tracksuit bottoms came up to 3/4 of their shin. And slowly, 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 what happened? They're wearing skirts. This is happening now. Muslim children, Muslim women, in the house, this normal, tight-fitting clothes and tracksuit bottoms or tights. Now slowly, slowly this is happening, and now it's happening. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years? Where do we see ourselves in 5 to 10 years? Do we think that it's going to remain? Does anyone think that, we all know that this is the akhir zaman. We know that this is not going to get any better. It's going to get worse every year. We are fully sure because our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that every year before, while we're going away from our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam's time, the further we go, the more misguidance and fitna will take place. So now, Shaitan will work with immodesty because this is part of Iman, because he's going to tackle Iman first. If he takes the Iman out, he's won, he's successful. So clothes, he's going to, because Allah is saying first of all he will work with clothes. So my respected brothers, work on your family members. Clothes, don't underestimate the fitna that this clothes doing. And don't try to justify a wrong to be right. If your family members are going in front of ghair mahram, you need to worry that, Ya Allah, why? Ghair mahrams are ghair mahrams. It doesn't matter who it is, brother-in-law, sister, cousin, it doesn't matter who it is, still ghair mahrams. There need to be a concern, because this is taking them away from Allah's deen. So slowly you will justify it, slowly the justification will come, and when justification of the wrongs come, then you should realize that Allah has put you into a path of misguidance. Because when you are justifying wrong to be correct, then the hidayat will stop there. You're going to have to do a lot of crying, lot of tawbah, istighfar, going to the mashayikh, asking for help. But you will think that, why should I? I'm not doing anything wrong. That justification will come, you're not doing anything wrong. So you see how Shaitan works? Shaitan works with the imani matters. This is just one aspect I've told you. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a true understanding. We'll continue some other time. Jazakumullah khair, ahsanallah fi darain.
إلهنا ما أعدلك مليك كل من ملك